Hello, my name is Scott Ingram and I'd like to welcome you to 2030 Lab 8, maintaining and updating the Windows 2008 server. The scenario we have today is we have an SQL database server and we need to evaluate and to monitor it. So today we're going to be explaining which subsystems need to be monitored and why. We're going to be explaining which counters we've chosen from each subsystem, and we're going to explain what each counter captures and why that's important to us. We're going to demonstrate creating a data collector set for those selected counters and schedule that set to run. And after capturing some data from that, we're going to show the various charts that display that information. The number one thing, there are many aspects of a database system's configuration that will affect the performance of queries running on that database. However, there's one single component that has the greatest impact on a database managed system performance. And that, of course, is the physical disk, the I/O access. The thing I looked at on this was the disk read bytes per second and the disk write bytes per second. And there's also, you could look at the disk bytes per second. Well, basically, this shows you the disk reads throughput. And in the event of an I/O stall, this counter and usually the corresponding disk write bytes per second will show a big drop off in read and write throughput. The disk bytes per second is merely a sum of the read and write bytes per second. But I think that when you see that each one independently, it's more useful for you as you can show up specific disk and whether they have fantastic read speeds or poor write speeds, and you can do a better evaluation at least on the physical disk. There's many different things you could do on the physical disk. You could do the whole thing on the physical disk and check the information, but these two are very important. So my choice is on the physical disk subsystem. I'm going to use the disk read bytes per second and the disk write bytes per second. Now, another thing I found out that with a database system on a server, you want to be monitoring is the memory of the server, of course. Just so I could show a little bit more information, I chose the committed bytes per second and the available bytes per second for memory, just so we could see something happening since we don't really have a database server. The other thing I learned was the processor is very important. So we're going to look at the idle time of the processor and the processor time for the processor also. So these are the three different subsystems we're going to be looking at. These are the 6 different things that we're going to be monitoring with those subsystems. So let's get started. Alright, we're in our Windows 2008-01 computer in the server manager, and right here we've got the diagnostics running, showing the different things going on inside the computer. We're going to go down to the reliability and performance. We're going to go down here to data collector sets, and we're going to create a user-defined data collector set based on the information that I've researched. We're going to create a new data collector set. The data collector set will be defined as with a name, so we're going to call it the SQL Server Knowledge. And you could use a template, but we want a bare bones mentality when we're working with servers. So we're going to create this manually, and we're going to go next. We're going to be working with performance counters, and that's the logs that we want to be capturing. So we're going to click on that, click next. Which performance counters would you like to log? We'll click add, and it'll take us here to select the counters that we've already spoke about earlier. One of the big ones I spoke about a little while ago was the physical disk. On the physical disk, it was very important to capture what's going on there. We're going to get the disk read bytes per second. We're going to add it, and the disk write bytes per second, and we're going to add it, and that'll be how we'll be monitoring our physical disk, which would be great if, I guess, if we actually were running a database server. Now we're going to go down here to our processor, And we're going to choose the idle time for our processor that's going on. We're going to add that. And we're actually going to choose our processor time. And we're going to add that. So that'll give us a yin-yang kind of scenario where we see either side of the coin. Then we're going to go up to memory. And we're going to look at the committed bytes in use and add that. And we're also going to look at the available bytes that could happen. So we're going to add that. So we're going to click OK. And we have set up our new data collector set. We've got everything added. So we're going to click Next. And this will give us the root directory of where it's going to be at. We're going to accept those default values. Alright, so we're going to accept that default. We're going to save it. We're going to close it. And we're going to click Finish. So now there's SQL Server Knowledge. Now we're supposed to take this, our SQL Server Knowledge, and we're going to schedule it, this set to run. So we will right click on that. We'll go down to Properties. And right here is our schedule. We want to add a schedule. We're going to begin the date today. The expiration date, we could have that, maybe not have it. Let's set it for the 18th. We're going to schedule it to run, say the company's off on Fridays. We're going to schedule it to run Friday or Thursday and Sunday. And the start time will be at 12 a.m. So we'll click OK. So now we have a schedule set up. We'll have it work for 13 hours. And we'll click Apply. And click OK. And so it is set up. Unfortunately, though, we don't want to wait until it gets started. So we're going to go ahead and press this green button here and start the data collector set now. So as you can see right here, the little SQL has started up, and the little green arrows next to it, we know that it's collecting knowledge right now. So we'll pause the video and come back and check on that and see what kind of charts it's produced for us. Right, it's been a few hours since I last checked in, so we're going to go to our C drive. We're going to go down into our performance logs, the administrator. There's our SQL Server Knowledge file folder. And we've got 1 and 2. I did a short one at first, and this is the second one. So we'll open it up. Right here it is, Data Collector 01. So we're going to open that up. And we can see here some of the information that was gathered. The committed bytes, and it's in this light purple. And yellow is the available bytes. So there was plenty of available bytes. Right here's the disk writes per second. You can see there were times where it really peaked. And here with the red, the idle time was very high. Wasn't a whole lot going on. Right here's our processor time. Was green. It was very low, but it was up and down. And so that gives us some of the information. And it was for 3 hours and 13 minutes was the duration of time. So let's look at some graphs on this. Here's a histogram bar. Right here we see the processor idle time was there. It's a very low amount. Let's see if we can get that. The processor time right there, and a percentage on that. So we can also look at a report. Say we need a report to show to a committee of some sort. Right here it's wrote up, typed up for us, and we can use that. Right here's an area report showing the different things. So we want to take one out and just show that. Well, let's add the purple back in, the committed bytes. And so you can see we can look at many different perspectives as we go through that. You can look at it as a stacked area. So this is the end of our presentation. We hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you.